Welcome to the Seven Wanderers 2026 YouTube channel. I am the lead of the Seven Wanderers, the patriarch of the family. And I have been asked by some people, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And this video is an attempt to give some answers to that. So, what are we doing? We are traveling the world for a year. We have multiple different locations in mind. Right now, I am recording this in Hawaii. We are on Oahu, on the west side of the island in Waianae. It's sort of a local, it's pretty authentically Hawaiian, this area. Airbnbs are a little cheaper than down in Honolulu near Waikiki, and we're happy to be here. It's a great spot. But we will be here for a month and then we will continue on into other locations. And I'll probably do another video about all those locations. But that's what we are doing. We've left Canada for 1 year and we were traveling as a family of 7. So that's fairly self-explanatory. Why are you doing it is a little more complicated. Or maybe it's a longer answer. I don't think it's actually that complicated. But I'm going to try and answer that question now. I went on a walk back in Canada and I was thinking about just this question and trying to put some shape to it in my own mind. My background is in law, and I had my first lawyer job in Canada was a major disaster. Uh, lots of stress, lots of stress, and mostly to do with personality conflicts and confusion about work boundaries and personal boundaries and stuff. So I was having a really rough go. This is like 7, 8, 9 years ago, something like that, and I would call it like a crisis. So I remember pulling out a piece of paper and writing on it something like Maldives, which we're not planning on going to. But I wrote that, and then I wrote another location, and then another location, and then another location, and just started like scrawling all of this stuff all over the page. And by the end of it, it looked kind of like a conspiracy map, like some crazy person had like, this is how it's all going to work out like this. And I had just done that as like a sort of act of resistance to the situation because everything in the situation was like, you're not going anywhere. You're stuck here. And this is going to get worse and worse and worse. It's never going to get better. And something in me said, nope, it's going to get better one day. And I'm going to write this stuff out, all of these places, all of these things that seem impossible. And yeah, things did not immediately turn around, but I still have that piece of paper somewhere in a box. And it was a good action because it helped me clarify some thoughts, even though it did look like it was written by, it's not neat printing. It's quite a mess. So I got laid off from that job months later, and one of the first actions I took was to go to Staples and buy a cork board, a big cork board, and a map and some pins, and take that home, put it up on the wall, and start putting pins in places I wanted to go. No money in the bank account, uh, no ability to do that at all. So they were just pins on the cork board. But it was like another action of defiance to the situation, going, things are not going to work out for you. The situation's pressing down on you. It's never going to be this way. And I'm like, nah, okay, well, maybe, but we'll put this up now so it'll be a constant reminder. And that was sort of the beginning of the process for me. It was one out of like despair, I suppose. Yeah, despair. Defiance in the midst of despair. So that's how it started. It's from some dark times, but that's not exactly the reasons why uh, we're doing it. So, reason number one, because these are just very basic reasons for anyone with a large family to travel, and these are the reasons that we find for ourselves. Number one, it is awesome. Sounds like a dumb reason, but it actually is a fantastic reason. It is self evidently awesome to travel the world for a year with your family. If someone, if I tell someone about what we're doing, they go, wow, that's awesome. That's going to be awesome. Your kids are going to really enjoy that. You guys are going to get a lot out of that. So the fact that it's just known to be awesome, I think should be taken into account. Um, like it's not like working for a year in Canada is awesome. I've done that many, many years. It's it's good. Awesome it is not. This is awesome. So that's the first reason. Second reason for our family, we are Christians and we want to know God and make him known. We do that wherever we live, wherever we go. We try to. We don't always succeed, um, but we try to. And part of that mandate as Christians is traveling and making God known in other places. So there will be a missionary aspect to this year. Um, Third reason, we want to bond as a family. The ages of my kids, 18 down to 5. In a few years, the eldest is going to be off with a lady and not wanting to spend time with mom and dad traveling the world. So, this is the only opportunity for us all to travel as a family of 7. And my belief and my hope is that this will bind us together as a family uh, in ways that nothing else ever could. Similar in a way to people who go to war together. This is not a war, this is a nice time. But they have a shared experience where there's pressure and there's strain, and they can all look back on that together. There is some pressure and strain in traveling, and there's also some amazing memories that are made. So that's the third reason. Fourth, we need a vacation. So, kind of contrary to the pressure and the strain, is the vacation aspect of things. We have not really vacationed much at all. We've traveled a lot in the sense that we've moved a lot from one part of Canada to the next. Um, we've traveled through British Columbia, which is a beautiful, beautiful province. But it's been like short little getaways. We've never taken an all inclusive trip to the Caribbean or anywhere else. Kids have never been to Disneyland. Kids have never been to the US, I think, until now. So we would like a vacation and a change of pace. And that's what this first part of the journey is about here in Hawaii. Um, it's nice. Hawaii is nice. Newsflash. Hawaii is nice. It is really nice. The air is nice. Um, the water is nice. Everything's nice. The sun is nice. People are nice. You know why they're so nice? Because they're in Hawaii. They're happy to be here. So that's the first phase. And we'll get some more of that as we go. But that'll be interspersed with other things. The fifth reason, number 5, is culture and people. We want to experience other cultures and other people. Um, where we're from in Canada, it's I wouldn't say it's completely monolithic culturally or ethnically, but it's pretty pale. I mean, we're white and we have white kids. What do you know? Um, we have a lot of people around us from different backgrounds, but people kind of keep to themselves, you know. So Sikh people go to the temple. We have our neighbors. We say hello, but that's it. Um, it's nice to get out of the routine where everyone kind of looks the same and talks the same and thinks the same. It's been a big part of my personal journey is getting to know people from other backgrounds. Um, and it's good. It's really good. So like getting out of uh, sort of that vanilla life. It's good. And I like vanilla. I like vanilla. It's a great flavor. Nothing against vanilla. But exploring and experiencing other people and other cultures is great. It really can open your eyes, and especially for kids. Like I think my wife and I have experienced different cultures in the past, and it's like we know some things. Um, and we lived in India for a while. We lived in Korea for a year. So we do have a wider frame of reference than most people, but our kids don't. And we want to widen our own perspectives on that. And we want to widen the kids' perspectives um, as well. That's a huge part of this. It's a huge part of this. Um, Canadians are not super well traveled, but you know, there's something different. Let me just say it this way. Spent a lot of time on this point, but let me say it this way. Going to Mexico for 10 days to an all-inclusive resort, I'm sure is fantastic. And I'm sure you meet some Mexican people. Um, but they're probably serving you a delicious beverage. And that's okay. But I don't know if you're really getting the sense of the local culture when you do that. So we want to be in a place, many, many places where we're getting a sense of local cultures, whether it's Hawaii or parts of Europe or the South Pacific or whatever. Like we have different places in mind. Um, we'll do another video on that. So that's long, long point. Number 6 is education. Our kids need to experience the world in a way that is tangible rather than just in a book. And I love books. Books are great. Thumbs up for books. But if you're going to read about Auschwitz, you're going to get a very limited picture of what Auschwitz was during World War II, as opposed to going to Auschwitz and touring that location and seeing what happened there. I don't know the full psychology of learning, but when things are tangible and you have an experience that you can remember, I think that's I know for a fact that that's more impactful than reading in a book or watching a movie, um, for sure. And I want that too. I definitely want that too. But for my children, I want my children to go, yes, okay, I remember this. We're going to go to Pearl Harbor next week. We booked the tickets, and they're going to remember going to Pearl Harbor, learning about the bombing of Pearl Harbor. They're going to see the USS Arizona, the tops of it, or the top of it that's sort of still exposed above the water. And they're going to have a frame of reference. So in the future, when someone mentions Pearl Harbor, they're always going to remember, oh, yeah, we went to Pearl Harbor when we were in Hawaii. So they will therefore know that Pearl Harbor is in Hawaii and there's a ship and all of that. Um, it's not going to give them full and total knowledge, but they'll have a frame of reference. And I want to do that for them and for us. Lastly, number 7, I figured I'd go with 7 reasons because there's 7 wanderers. How about that? Um, you only live once. Um, YOLO. It's such a stupid phrase, but it's kind of true. You only live once. And I want to do it. I want to do this. I want to experience the world. And no one is going to do it for me. And no one's going to do it for you. It's it's like being the protagonist in your own story. You get to decide what you want to do with your life. Uh, And I don't see a downside to this. It's going to cost us lots of money, tons of money, all the money we've been saving for a long time. I'll do another video about how we're doing this, but it's going to cost us an arm and a leg. But what's the loss? Like living in Canada costs us an arm and a leg. Every week, every month, every year, it's tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars going to housing, food, entertainment, transportation, uh, miscellaneous, lots and lots of expenses just to living in Canada. So this will cost us more. Um, it's yeah, because we are having people rent our house, and this is not just like a vacation where you get someone to look after your cat and then you spend a bunch of money and during 2 weeks where you're like, we had a great time, we were only there for 2 weeks, and you spend a lot more when you do that. Because we're not doing it that way, um, many of the costs at home are mitigated, and many of the costs traveling abroad are less. It's still massive and substantial, especially with a family of seven. But we're not. Let's say it this way: if I were to spend $100,000 on like 5 amazing 2 to 3 week trips over 5 years, it would be great to have those trips. The flights would cost a lot, and the hotels would cost a lot, and all the wonderful things that we would do would cost a lot. And that would be a total of, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks per vacation. So 10 to 15 weeks of vacation over 5 years. But if I spend $100,000 over the course of a year, it's more than that. It's a little higher. Like it's very expensive. But if I spend $100,000 over the course of a year and, you know, book flights, okay, one way this way, one way that way. We have not hotels, we have a house, we have a different living accommodation here. Instead of getting 10 to 15 weeks, we're getting like 52 weeks. Um, and even if the amount is higher than the 100,000, then you're still getting 52 weeks of travel and experience rather than, you know, 10, 50, 20 weeks. So yeah, you only live once. There's no real loss from my perspective, because even all the stuff I said about the money there. Guess what? You can't take it with you. So what's the loss? I'm gonna have a good retirement. I'm gonna have a good pension. Everything's gonna be just fine. We're still gonna own our house. Everything's gonna be just fine. You know, it's one thing I think we forget in Canada and in the West is that if the numbers don't add up just right, sometimes we don't do things that and we regret them. Um, I've done enough math to know this adds up well enough. Um, it adds up well enough, and if we spend a little more than we wanted to, eh, you know, you only live once. So there is the long, like 20-minute story of our uh, our reasons for doing this, the why, and for those of you who are considering traveling with your family, uh, there was no like magic moment except for like in retrospect, I can see the dark times were like sort of squeezing me to get this out of me. But I could have just put that piece of paper in the trash and I could have not purchased a map or purchased a map and then tossed it and been like, yeah, that was one thing I thought about and then whatever. But yeah, if you do it, you don't regret anything. So I'm not regretting anything. Have a wonderful day and thank you for your time. Bye.